All right, freshly dumped out of today's Culotta and the Prince here on this Wednesday. The vlog here wrapping up today's show. Paul Maneri, John Brady, and Jacory Savage all stopped by. The podcast should be awesome. 1045ESPN.com is where you can catch it.
We wiped it clean this morning.
I'm telling you.
There's no question.
It's good. Like the first thing we did when we got up this morning. I'm telling
I
you.
felt about 10 pounds lighter after the show.
Wolf bait all over the place here. John Brady, I thought he broke down the finals great.
How great is he on the radio? Look, I know he's your guy, and but if the listeners, they listen to it. He's just natural. He's comfortable. He understands the sport. He has no problem with saying, "Hey, look, I don't understand why you don't double team LeBron and let one of those other clowns beat you." That's great radio, and it comes from a place where a guy who's been coaching for that long understands exactly what it means to go out there and have to defend somebody. You know, bringing up the first-person recollections of having to guard J.J. Redick in a Sweet 16 game to propel yourself to that Final Four. Look, it was great insight, and I think he's right, man. In order for Golden State to win, we keep talking about them offensively, what they need to do. They need to find something defensively to at least slow down LeBron James.
2-1 now as the NBA Finals stands with Cleveland on the lead. Game 4 Thursday night. LeBron 123 points through the first 3 games of the NBA Finals, which is a record in the NBA. Jacory Savage, 13th commitment to the class of LSU football 2016. You and I were out at camp yesterday. You've been there pretty much the entire time. You waved me over and said, take a look at that kid at the left tackle spot. All eyeballs were on him, whether it was Austin Thomas, Frank Wilson, Jeff Grimes, Ed Ogeron, Les Miles, Dean Dingman, the whole crew. Justin Vincent was standing right behind him. He gets the offer yesterday, commits on the spot, tells us this morning he's 100% committed to the program.
Yeah, and again, when you're talking about from the Baldwin County over there, Bay Minette, Alabama, for those that have gone down to the Florida Panhandle, you pass through there, you understand where it's at. About 3 hours and some change past
the Loxley Foley exit, right?
Exactly, right there. You know, when you're getting towards there, not a bad ride over to Baton Rouge. Just take 12, or 10 to 12, the whole way. And again, a guy that was very interested in LSU. His high school position coach is a guy that Jeff Grimes has worked with before and has a great relationship with recruiting. His head coach is a guy that Jeff Grimes has known, so they feel comfortable with Jeff Grimes. And I think this is a guy that when you look at the skill set that he has, the fact that he's only played offensive line for a year, when you look at where he's going to be at, say, at the end of this season, as a guy who's going to work with better coaching this year. They got a new offensive line coach, and a guy that has a reputation as being a good offensive line coach over there at Baldwin County. But you look at the fact that he's going to continue to physically grow. I think he's a guy who redshirts and a guy who LSU's not looking for him to come in right away and play. But I think eventually he's a guy that physically Tommy Moffitt's going to put a bunch of mass on, continue to have his athleticism. So I think this is a really solid pickup here. And, last year you signed 5 offensive linemen. You're going to look at probably 3 in this class with Donovan Campbell and Jacory Savage already in here. You're looking at maybe 1 more offensive lineman in this class. I think it's a really good start to this class with the 13 guys they have on board thus far and with the number of big-time guys at positions of needs that they're still in on.
Now you're looking at 12 open spots. I'd imagine this class starts to maybe fill up, right?
Heavy on the defensive side. I think that you're looking at last year you signed, a lot of offensive guys, 5 offensive linemen, the wide receivers, the running backs, the tight ends. There were a lot of guys over there on the offensive side of the ball. This year I think it's going to be heavy on the defensive side of the ball. And the other thing that I'll add to that is I think it's going to get – I think you got a chance for this being somewhere around 18 or 19 by the time – possibly even 20 by the time that the school year starts. And then you're just kind of sitting there waiting around for some of the guys like Rashard Lawrence and Willie Allen and some of the other big-time guys that you're going to have here. I think this class is going to be one that there's definitely going to be a chance to finish very strong with some of the big-time, highly regarded national guys that you're in on late. And some of those big-time, highly regarded national guys are here from the state of Louisiana. So it's going to be good with that. But no question about it, Jordy. I think some of these guys start looking around now and saying, hey, look, LSU's got a lot of really good guys that they're in on. If I want to be a part of this class, I got to go ahead and commit and get my spot taken care of.
Paul Maneri, LSU head baseball coach, stopped by in the second hour today.
Softballs.
That's what we do, man. We're unabashed homers. He has not named his pitcher publicly. Who do you think he goes with?
I would expect Lang. I mean,
too much on the line, right?
Yeah, I mean, But then you look at it and you say, well, if you win, I mean, who you play. But I think at the same point in time, Poche's thrown very well as well. I don't think that the question is not the question's Lang or Poche. That's all it is for your Sunday game and then your Tuesday game. And if you win those two, then you come back on Thursday with maybe Johnny Holstaff or Jack Holstaff or whatever he wants to call it, or you find that one guy that Alan Dunn says, hey, look, we can throw this guy out here and we can get 5 or 6 good innings out of, and then you can piece together the rest of the outing. But hey, look, their first 2 guys are pitching as well as anybody right now.
All right. One thing that seems certain is you talk to players and availability this week. Maneri was here this morning. He's got a couple of sound bites out there from some press conferences. Different feeling with this team going to Omaha than the 2013 group.
Yeah, the guys that we talked to, they did because, and again, Alex Bregman says, and Andrew Stevenson said the same thing. It's a different team, it's a different vibe, but it's something where those guys, when the last time they were there, everybody was just kind of like, we got to Omaha. Whereas now it's a little bit more, okay, we got to go win. And that's a big difference.
Check out the podcast online, 1045ESPN.com. Us daily, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN.